Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Now, you'll probably notice that I haven't been doing a lot of videos lately, and there's no real reason behind that. It's just life's been busy, lead up to Christmas, trying to make sure all the orders go out, and I have been full-time in basically trying to keep up with the suppressors and cutting the foam and everything like that for them, that it's just took up a lot of time. So anytime I had free, I've been trying to wind down a little bit rather than forcing out content. So we are going to be looking at a new pistol today. So I've picked up another pistol. This is under the EMG brand, I believe. But this is actually a pistol that is produced by Army. Now, you might remember we covered a lot about Army some years ago when they did the John Wick 3. I think that was a turning point for Army. And I think if you go back and watch that video of the TTI JW3 by, was it under Jag Precision or something like that? I can't quite remember. That pistol, I said, was a turning point for Army, and if they could carry on with that, with what they were doing, the direction that we're going, I think it could be a very successful product line for them. And I think they've pretty much done that. You've got the R6 series where they've done all kinds of high cappers, and they've done really well. I did see these on one of the suppliers' websites. Now, they do a lot of models in this line, but I went for this one just because I thought it was a good place to start. So the EMG, Army, Staccato, normal EMG stuff, you get the licensed product certificate of authenticity, and you can scan the QR code on the back for instructions and registration. But that's how you always know you're getting an EMG branded product there. And I went with, now I just have to double check the label here, it's the Staccato License C2 Comp SOC 2011 Gas Blowback Airsoft Pistol. So it's a C2, and this one that I've gone with is the more compact version of the pistol. And the first thing that I want to point out looking at this pistol is the quality improvements from that John Wick 3. Now, the frame doesn't look too dissimilar. The grip looks very nice with what they've done here. I really do like the stippling and the logos and stuff they've done with that. Very good job. But the biggest thing I want to point out, I don't know if you can see this on camera, is the quality of the slide. Now, the John Wick 3s and the other products that they do are cast alloy, but this is either like a very, very well improved casting, or they've gone to another process, because the quality of this slide is just phenomenal compared to that pistol all those years ago. So what is it? It's a gas blowback pistol from Army and EMG with, using the Staccato brand. Now, Staccatos, I don't know much about the real Staccatos, but they are well renowned, in the firearms world. And I think this is a very, very nice pistol. So you've got Staccato C2 on the lower frame on the right side there. You've got a serial number. You've got the American flag, lots laser etching. You've got the logo on the grip here on both sides. The mag release is found only on the left-hand side, as well as the slide release. You do have ambidextrous safeties at the back here that do block the slide, just on any other high capper. The one thing that I did notice on this, where Army hasn't improved from the older models, is the fit and finish of the dual levers. You can see they don't quite, they're nice, well, they're nice and loose, but they're quite loose and they sort of wiggle around a bit. But me personally, using these pistols, I've never ever used the grip safeties. I've always just used them to rest my my dominant hand on the pistol. And you can see this pistol does look quite small, and the mag that it comes with, it does kind of look like a 4.3 mag, so it's a little bit shorter. You have the tiniest gap on the bottom of the grip there. So the grip is polymer. The frame and the slide are metal. Not sure what metal they are. And you've got a metal outer barrel, metal guide rod. You have a section here which is cut out that looks like you can, mount a grip or anything like that. But more importantly, and why the JW3 was such a good pistol, was the non-dropping barrel, and you do get that on the Staccato. So as the slide reciprocates, the barrel doesn't drop into the pistol. So it stays exactly where it is, and this is great for accuracy. So yeah, it feels really nice. If you're comfortable with high kappa pistols, you'll feel right at home with this. It just feels, the grip feels a little bit more refined compared to their previous releases, and it is very pointable. You've got a fibre optic front sight there, and you've just got normal U-shape irons on the back here. So when I bought this, I bought some extra mags. I couldn't get this mag, or I couldn't find it on their website. So I ordered what I thought was the similar thing. It is a little bit different, so I think it's a little bit longer. So you'll see just ever so slightly longer. But it'll stick out, but it doesn't stick out too much. And I'm not too bothered about that at all. So very, very good. So also, we'll take a look at the trigger first before we go what else is in the box. So trigger, 911s and high kappas do tend to have very good triggers. So we'll see how this goes here. So you're right on the brake there as you pull the trigger, and there's a very, very light brake. So what you'd expect from the Army or high kappa airsoft pistols. So we'll take a more detailed look at that in just a moment. What else do we get in the box? So we get a little cap here that has a star on it, and that is to go on the bottom of the magazine. And I presume what you can do is you can fill it from the bottom like this without removing the bottom cap. However, have I got something to demonstrate this? I'm sure this will be able to be slid off as well. So I can just etch that down. What would have been nice is if they put a little notch in here to get your thumb in there. And you can, of course, slide this off the bottom. One thing to note with these Army pistols is what we had a lot of issues when we used to stock them at Bespoke was just those screws. If you've got a brand new mag and you fill it up with gas and you're getting a bit of leak or a bit of hissing out the base plate, just do a 1/16th to an 1/8 of a turn, and it just nips up and closes the seals on the bottom of the mag. So if you did want to put that star cap on here, you would then have to slide this off to be able to fill your mags. Now, I'm not too bothered about that being on the bottom of the mag because you're never going to see it, so I'd just keep it like that. But it's good that they put it in the box for you. You get a lot of silica gel in here, which is good for shipping, because the last thing you want is moisture in the package, especially when it's coming from overseas. Now, this was bought in the UK, but you never know how long they've been on a ship or something like that for. So it's nice that they do that still. Try and open this extra little package here and see what we've got. And we can drop this out here. Looks like we've got some different iron sights. So we've got an extended rear, which does have a sort of a textured edge on the back, which is a little bit nicer. We have an extended fibre front sight. This is if you're using like red dots or suppressors and such. We've got a bunch of screws there, and it also comes with an optics plate, which, let's remember how many premium pistols like the Crytac Maxim 9, you're spending, quite a lot of money for something like that, and then you've got to go buy this separately. Now, with that Maxim 9, I'm just using it as an example, but I had to spend an extra £40 on the plate, and the plate was literally just a cheap piece of steel. Yes, it was nicely threaded in where it needs to be, but it was just a cheap steel plate. Now, this is actually, as you can see, a machined, in fact, it might be cast, but then they've just machined the threads and stuff in there. So what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to switch this out there, and then you can put your red dots on. You haven't got to buy anything separately. Now, you might need screws to attach your red dot to the plate, but I don't think that's bad, considering that a lot of these pistols you have to buy the plate separately, and then you can never find it in stock. So that comes in the box if you want to do a red dot on the top there. Now, with the pistol, we just line up that little notch, same as any other 1911 or high kappa pistol. We can take that out, we'll let the slide forward, and we can take a look at what's going on here. Let's pull out the guide rod here. I'm a little bit rusty when it comes to high kappas. I haven't covered one on the channel for a while, I think. So we can take the guide rod off there. That's a nice machine part. You've got a nice spring on there, which has irregularly placed coils. Nice guide rod. I believe that's steel, but we can test that in a minute. You've got a couple of shims on there and a buffer. And then we take a look at the barrel system here, which slides out the front. Not excessive amounts of grease. There is a couple of what look like, oh, that's actually quite unique actually. So when you've got, like, I don't know, ice cream or anything like that and the lid's on, you've got that little protective film that you have to, it's like a serrated plastic film that you peel off. And what they've done here is they've put that on the barrels to stop them being scratched, I presume, in testing and stuff like that, which is a very nice little detail, if it can be easily removed. So it's got like a little serrated edge. Let's see if we can, like that. You'll see it on sports drinks and all kinds of stuff. We'll peel that off, and that reveals our barrel, because one thing that the John Wick 3 suffered from is you'd have to test the pistols, and they'd have that light, like sort of rose goldish, bronzish colour, and you'd always scratch them, and you have to test them to make sure not only are they sight legal, but make sure the guns are functioning. And then you always used to get complaints from customers, you know, marks on the barrel, which is just one of them things you can't avoid. Looks like they've touched up on the QC of the inner barrels and the hops as well. It just, to me, overall looks like they've improved a lot of stuff. It's not just rinse and repeat. We can pull that made in China sticker off there. We don't want that. And looking at the slide, it does look really, really nice. Now, I'm not going to go as far to say that this is machined. I'd be surprised if it was. But the casting is a lot better quality, and the finish, so whatever coating they've put on the slide, is a lot better as well. Now, the blowback housing is loose. So what we could possibly have to do, and you might have to check this on yours if you purchase one, is just tighten up the screw on the back there, just to make sure that's not super loose. Now, it is still loose. It could be the screws under here, I'm not too sure. So you'll just have to keep an eye on that and see what's going on here. Can we quickly grab this off? Let's use a better Allen key, shall we? So it looks like a 2, which I should have a 2 round here somewhere. Is it on here? There's a 3, there's a 2. So we'll just quickly pull this off and see what's going on. A little bit more. Let's delve a little bit deeper here. So pulling that screw off means I can pull the entire blowback unit out. Standard army looking nozzle here. Again, it does look like they've improved the QC. The thing was, the Army JW3s were phenomenal pistols, and you know, the quality of the casting and stuff probably wasn't the best, but the gun just worked. And you can see on this, you know, it's very much well improved. You'd have to compare it to the old video, but it does look like they're not just rinsing and repeating and putting out, you know, poor quality stuff. Not that it was poor quality, but, you know, cheaper quality stuff. And there is a thread on there and on there, so I imagine that's where the RMR plate will attach to. So we'll slide this back in here. Just being careful not to trap the nozzle spring. And yeah, it'd be interesting if those screws are required to keep everything nice and tight. That is tightened up now, and yeah, we've managed to remove it. So it's just that screw at the back was loose, and now we've took the slop out, so that's good. Reassembling, we just put our barrel components back together. We line up the inner barrel on the end there. Now there is a thread on the inside of the barrel. To me, it looks clockwise. Slide that in here. We take our guide rod assembly. Careful not to shoot it across the room. place it in and let that sit in the front of the slide there. Slide the pistol together, pop the slide release in with a little notch lined up. Very nice. Let's get a bit of gas in this mag, and then we can see what the chrono's at. Just can also see if the gas mag is leaking, which it isn't, which is good. We've got some 0.2s. I'm going to use 0.2s just because it's what I've got handy here. You would obviously be using, I think in the John Wick 3s we were using 0.3s and getting really good results. So this is just a baseline. You would of course chrono it on the ammo that you'll want to use. You can pull that down here, it's nice and easy. And they're stacking really nice, to be honest. Spoke too soon there. Let's get this stacked up. There we go. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 27. Does it clear? So yeah, you can get 28 rounds in this short mag. No, that's the wrong mag. That's the spare mag I bought. So I'll be able to test 2 mags here. Just going to quickly purge a bit of the air. Make sure it's nicely purged here. And let's put some BBs in this mag. Didn't do too well on that one either. So the other mag, I'll give you the codes for these mags in a moment. Obviously I won't have a code for this mag because it's one that came with it. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23. Oh, lost one. 24, 25. So 25 and a 28. Let's get this squared up here so I can give it a test. Let's pivot this box round. Chrono, let's get the ammo set to 0.2s. There we go. These mags might run out of gas because I didn't really purge it very well, but we'll give it a go. The hop, again, you'll have seen the dial was at about halfway. Let's make sure it works, which it does. Wow, nice and punchy that is. So 289, so 0.7 joules. Let's give it a blast. Bear with me. 283, 280. Oh, didn't read. 275. So, you know, around about what Maruis tend to do pistol wise. Let's shoot the rest of these rounds into this box here. Very, very good on the efficiency. Slap the slightly extended mag in and give that one a blast. That one I didn't purge, I can already tell. So always purge your mags, kids. So try and get the gun in shot here. Very, very punchy. Oh man, this is going to be dangerous for me. I think the key things to take away, if you've been following this channel a while, in fact, if you've been a subscriber of this channel since the John Wick 3 videos back in the day at Bespoke, you know, let me know down in the comments below. That's the only base point I can really compare this to. But this is a massive, massive step in the right direction. Not only have they improved materials, they've improved quality. This slide actually sounds amazing. I don't actually have the John Wicks anymore because it's so long ago. But the slide's smoother. It sounds better, it feels better. You've got plenty of options for the mags. Now, the mags that I bought were code 311037. That's a code used by the guys, you know, my old friends down at Bespoke Airsoft. I didn't buy this from Bespoke Airsoft, but that's the code that you would use. Again, if you're going to go down to the guys at Bespoke, you put that in the website to find the spare mag, and you put that code in to find the pistol, which is 111653. So this is the smaller R612. They do bigger models, they do models with all kinds of different compensators, and I think with the experience that I've had looking at an old friend under a new flashy sort of makeover, I think I shouldn't really, but I think I'm gonna have to get the other pistols in the line and see and get, you know, you guys know I did it. I went crazy with the revolvers, and now I think I'm about to go crazy with staccatos, and it just works. And these pistols, they don't break the bank at all, even without an extended magwell on this thing. It's really easy to reload. It has a tiny flare, but not massively. And being high cappers, I can't remember with Army how compatible they were with Marui, but I think it was mostly compatible. So I'm sure there's loads of parts you get. They do need to improve the safeties on the back, just because they're not the best. They do work, but they work themselves out like that, and they'll still function. I just think that could be somewhere that they could clear it up and just take it to from a 9 to a 10. So very cool indeed. I've just noticed there's a little grub screw on the trigger here. I'm sure that's maybe to reduce over travel of the trigger. I'm not too sure. I'll have to investigate further with that. If you want to see more videos on this pistol and the other pistols in the Staccato line from EMG and Army Armament, let me know in the comments below. If I don't speak to you beforehand, have a great Christmas and a new year. I'll be doing more videos before the end of the year to wrap up a few things, because there's going to be a few announcements that I want to make for the channel, and sort of have a sort of a direction for us to go for 2025. But if I don't see you before then, have a great Christmas and New Year. Thank you for sticking around with the Jaeger Precision YouTube channel. It's been a record year for new subscribers and the view count. I want to thank all the manufacturers that have worked with the channel. It really wouldn't be in the same place without them. There's too many to list, but you guys know everyone that's, you know, supplied stuff to the channel. Thank you very much. Hope you like the pistol. It's just a Staccato C2 from Army Armament and EMG. And from me and Bench, we'll see you in the next one.